Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is RAYHAN and I want to presentation about applied linguistics. Table of contents. 1. The definition. 2. Table of development applied linguistics. 3. The development of applied linguistics according to grade 22. 1. The definition of applied linguistics. Applied linguistics using what we know about a language. B. How it is learned, and C. How it is used in order to achieve some purpose or solve some problem in the real world. Smith and Chelsea Murcia, 21. Wilkins, 1999. In a broad sense, applied linguistics is concerned with increasing understanding of the role of language in human affairs, and thereby with providing the knowledge necessary for those who are responsible for taking language-related decisions, whether the need for this arises in the classroom, the workplace, the law court, or the laboratory. Applied linguistics means many things to many people. By Vivian Cook, 20 books. General term: a sizable group of semi-autonomous disciplines, each dividing its parentage and allegiance between the formal study of language and other relevant fields, and each working to develop its own methodologies and principles. 2. The development of applied linguistics. Early history. In 1755, Samuel Johnson published his Dictionary of the English Language, which quickly became the unquestioned authority on the meanings of English words. It also had the effect of standardizing English spelling, which until that time had been relatively variable. Robert Laud published an influential grammar book, Short Introduction to English Grammar. But whereas Johnson sought to describe English vocabulary by collecting thousands of examples of how English words were actually used, Locke prescribed what correct grammar should be. Applied linguistics during the 20th century. At the beginning of the century, second language were usually taught by the grammar translation method, which had been in use since the late 18th century, but was fully codified in the 19th century by oral plots. A lesson would typically have one or two new grammar rules, a list of vocabulary items, and some practice examples to translate from L1 into L2 or vice versa. The beginning of the 20th century, direct method, this emphasis exposure to oral language, with listening and speaking as the primary skills. Meaning was relayed directly to the target language without the step of translation, while explicit grammar teaching was also downplayed. It imitated how a mother tongue is learned naturally, with listening first, then speaking, and only later reading and writing. Continue. In the UK, Michael West was interested in increasing learners' exposure to language through reading. His reading method attempt to make this possible by promoting reading skills through vocabulary management to improve the readability of his textbooks. His substitute low frequency literary words such as also, now, and are with more frequent items such as island, nothing, and before. He also controlled the number of new words which could appear in any text. The three methods, grammar translation, the direct method, and the reading method, continued to hold sway until World War II. Chomsky attacked on the behaviors underpinnings of structural linguistics in the late 1950s proved decisive, and its associated pedagogical approach, audiolingualism, began to fall out of favor. Chomsky suggests that children form hypotheses about their language that they test out in practice. Some would naturally be incorrect, but Chomsky and his followers argue that children do not receive enough negative feedback from other people about this inappropriate language forms to be able to discard them. Chomsky posited that children are born with an understanding of the way language works, which was referred to as universal grammar. They would know the underlying principles of the language and their parameters. In the early 1970s, Times had the concept of communicative competence, which emphasized that language competence consists of more than just being able to form grammatically correct sentences, but also to know when and where to use this sentence and to whom. The term applied linguistics, which refers to the application of linguistics to the study and improvement of language teaching, language learning, language planning, management of language defects, communication between groups, lexicography, translation, etc. Owes its origin to U.S. language teaching programs during and after the Second World War. The history of applied linguistics can be discussed in different countries, as noted by Grade 22. In America, in 1948, a conference was organized by Charles C. Price, support among others by Kenneth L. Pipe and W. Freeman Riddle at the University of Michigan to disseminate information about work at Price English Language Institute on 1941. At that conference, a quarterly journal of applied linguistics titled Language Learning was started in Britain as well. The School of Applied Linguistics was established by G.C. Carter at the University of Edinburgh in 1856, and the Center for AI was set up in Washington, D.C. under Charles Ferguson in 1959. Great note that National Association of Applied Linguistics came together in 1964 to form the Association Internationale de la Linguistique Appliquée (AILA). AI. This association hosts a four-yearly international congress with published presidents, Davis and Elder. 26. Comment on the symposium held at the American Association of Applied Linguistics (AAL) in in the year 21, where the history of applied linguistics was considered in four different countries. Angeles 21, discussing the USA purpose of fourfold division of the history since the 1920s. History was summarized this: 1. AI in North America does have identified roots in linguistics. 2. While North America AI has evolved over time in its orientation and scope, so has North America linguistics. 3. A significant amount of work related to real-world issues involving language can be attributed to leading North American linguistics. 4. Much of what can now be seen as groundbreaking applied linguistic type activity was carried out prior to the formal applied linguistics. The British Association of Applied Linguistics (AAAL) was formerly established in 1967 with the aim of advancing education, fostering and promoting by any lawful charitable means the study of language teaching and the fostering of interdisciplinary collaboration in this study. The 1994. It was taken for granted in the 1960s and 70s that AL was about language teaching. Over the last 30 years, it became clear that those studying English language teaching had already studied aspects of linguistics. Lewis, 91, notes that AI is trying to resolve language-based problems that people encounter in the real world today. His however, 20 AI has grown quickly and it is flourishing with academic positions, academic departments, international journals, and an international association. Davis and Elder 26 commented on Middleton's distinction between linguistics, applied LA, and applied linguistics. This. The difference between these modes of intervention is that in the case of linguistic applied, assumption is that the problem can be reformulated by the direct and unilateral application of the concept and terms deriving from linguistic inquiry itself. Scholars such as Bloomfield, 1923, and Robin state that if a teacher understands the use of linguistics as a scientific method in language presentation, his or her work will be easy. Bibliography. But it's thank you very much.